Sorry for the delay. We'll kick off with Craig Slater, and then if anybody puts their hand up after that, we'll work the normal process. Craig, when you're ready. You need to unmute, Craig.
Is it unmuted? Just want to gauge your emotions after that. Is it relief to get the equaliser or disappointment you hadn't taken a grip on the game with all those chances you created, particularly in the first half?
Yeah, you're right, Craig. Mixed emotions. I thought first half we were back to where, in and around where we know we can be. I thought control of the game was good, shaping and out of possession was good, and obviously created the better chances. But we lost control of the second half. They came into it more. I think obviously a game of two halves, but to get a result, obviously when you 10 minutes to go and you're 1-0 down, we'll take that at the moment.
I mean, did you get that fluency you were looking for through the thirds that you talked about ahead of this game?
Well, first half, yeah, definitely, but not second half. We lost control. We made some poor decisions. We looked a little bit anxious in our play. One mistake led to another and allowed Fulham back into the game, and they did. They took control and moved the ball about the pitch a while and created the better chances. Obviously, we've rode our luck a little bit with them missing a penalty, missed a chance. Mitrovic late on, and obviously for us getting a penalty, which I think is well overdue with the decisions that we've had so far this season.
Ian Brewster got a run out. How have you assessed his level of sharpness? Is he ready to start games now?
Yeah, I mean, that wouldn't have done him any harm at all. It was a big decision before whether to start him. I believed he only had sort of 50 minutes in him, so I thought the best way to introduce him would be off the bench, as we did, and get his first minutes as a Sheffield United player. It's difficult because obviously younger players get caught up in between 23s and first team, and sometimes maybe don't get up to speed as quickly as if they were part of a first team. No, not being critical of anything that's happened away from here, but we've assessed it and that was the decision we made. But delighted that he got onto the pitch. It was a difficult sort of 25, 30 minutes for him. I think if we'd have flipped the two halves around and we had control of the second half as we did the first half, I think obviously that would have made it easier and he'd had more opportunities to show what he's all about.
Thank you.
Cheers, Craig.
Rob Staten.
Chris, are the players lacking a bit of confidence at the moment? And if so, how do they get that back?
Yeah, it's obvious, Rob, isn't it? They look a little bit anxious second half. They didn't first half, so I've said all along to them, this is a tough sport. You're dealing. As I said, Fulham 13 years out of 18 in the Premier League. There's no mug sides. There's no easy hits. There's no free hits where you can go, we'll get our confidence back today. In this game, it has to come from within. It has to come from a belief in their own ability, a belief in what we do, which I do think there is, and the system that we play to. However, we tweak it and what our drivers are as a football club. But it's natural as well. It's natural to see what's happening after what's been a difficult start for us, and that's what sport's all about, isn't it? If it was that easy, everybody would be doing it and everybody would be at this level, but it isn't, and that's the pressure that everybody has to make decisions in, me included, and players have got to go out there and perform if they want to establish themselves as Premier League players. And it is, of course, obviously a little bit of a struggle, and at the moment, and you can see that there was an anxiety about our play, which obviously is brought on when you don't get anything from the first few games of the season.
Thanks, Chris.
Cheers.
Chris, how's Max Lowe?
Yeah, he got concussion. Another, desperately unfortunate situation from us, following on from Flecky and Jack O'Connell and moveset. So Yeah, we're getting tested a little bit at the moment, Nath, on bits and pieces. We could do without that because Max has been fabulous. Decision at the start whether to start Jaden and Max. I made that decision just to put one of them in. I think it would have been too much of a gamble to stick both of them in such a game that we needed to get something from. So we went with a little bit more experience. Obviously, first half sort of proved correct, but yeah, he took a nasty whack to him, and obviously a blurred vision. So we were all looking for that combination of Ender, and obviously we didn't bring anybody in at the window to cover Jack O'Connell. So I went with moving Ender out of position that I didn't really want him to move into a position that he was, and that combination between Ender and Max. But unfortunately, Max coming off early sort of scuppered all those plans.
What's the latest with John Fleck? Yeah,
well, John was down to play as well. Another unfortunate injury. I talked to John after the Arsenal game and said that, he needs to get himself up to speed and I need him in the team. And we agreed with that. And he'd gone up the road with Scotland and, he was penciled into play. So I think 99 times out of 100, even more odds, speaking to the medical people, how unfortunate it was to land at this such a small place on his back to do the damage that he's done. So 4 to 6 weeks without John is another blow that we have to take on the chin.
Did you see? Are there plenty of encouraging signs for you to take from this, Chris? Despite 5 games without a win, particularly from that first half.
I'm not, 5 games without a win, however you want to dress it up. This is an incredible competitive league. I don't know if you've seen the numbers sort of being bandied about with Man City and what lengths football clubs go to be successful or even to survive in this division. It is an incredible division to be involved in, such a powerful one, and we've done incredibly well to get into this league way ahead of time, and. We've not won the first 5 games of the season, and it doesn't sit well with us. But I don't think people should be embarrassed about it. We're giving everything we can do for the football club, which I've always said is key, because more than anybody that players have not in the past done that, but not under my watch. So it's difficult at the moment. As I said, it's tough. It's tough to watch at times, but I thought, as I said, first off, there were some really good signs that we were back. We were back in and around where we need to be. So, from the belief and confidence point of view, it has to come from the encouragement that I give them, but it has to come from within as well. If these players want to stay or be Premier League footballers. They've got all the attributes to do that. I think you understand that we have to play at the top of our game every week to get something out of the game, and we can, we have to, the small margins that we talked about before hurt us more than anybody because we haven't got that ability just to do what we want to. So, yeah, I should imagine. There's a view about us at the moment from our supporters, which we have to accept. But as always, we'll stick together and try and fight our way through it. And I think that's the beauty of what I've created here amongst the players and the staff is that we are a really tight group that will do and stick together and fight our way through it.
Thanks ever so much, Chris. All the best.
Cheers, mate.
Chris, Billy Short strike today confirmed that it's only the second league goal of the season. Is that a cause for concern at this early stage?
Yes.
Yeah.
I can't say 2 goals out of the first 5 games, Ben, is a decent return, can I? What do you think?
No, I agree. And with the signing of Liam Brewster, do you think that's something that can boost it forward once he obviously gets more fitness and more match sharpness? Yeah, brilliant.
When he gets up to speed, he'll add to our forwards. The hardest part is sticking the ball in the back of the net, keeping it out the back of the net as well, because other teams find it difficult as well. And some teams pay £400 million to keep the ball out the back of the net, and pay £300 million to put the ball in the top of the in the goal from the other end. So it's going to be even more difficult for us in the situation that we're in. But we'll keep going and keep trying to create chances like we did first half. I thought we created the better chances first half, more chances first half than they did. I know they'll be disappointed that Mitrovic has not scored with an header, but I think that we can be a little bit disappointed that we've not come in the game at half time, up in the game. But hardest part, as we all know, to stick the ball in the back of the net, but we'll keep working away.
And then with Liverpool up next, how are you going to prepare for that game in 6 days' time? How are you going to prepare for it in the next 6 days?
Same as we prepare for every game. We'll prepare, we'll look at them, we'll look at us, try and pick the best team and see if we can get some out of the game.
And finally, Stu Rayner.
Hi, Chris. When you say the team looked back to its old self a bit, do you think the same is true of Ollie Norwood?
I thought first half, I thought we had control of the game, Stu. I don't think Ollie's at the heights at the start coming back into the football club. There's no reason why I would leave him off. I've got to pick the right team and people in form. So I think he has to take a bit of responsibility, not being up to scratch, as well as me not picking him. I thought that was the right way to go. But, you know, Ollie's looked more of himself over the last sort of couple of weeks. And I thought first half he was. I thought we lost a little bit of control second half, Stu, in the midfield. I thought first half that, you know, Xander, Lunny and Ollie dictated that area of the pitch. I think Xander run out of legs a little bit. I think obviously his schedule that he's had to deal with contributed to that. And John did a little bit. I thought all three of them were outstanding, and Ollie did. And generally, we lost control of that area and we lost control of the game, really, because first half we had control of the game, created the better chances, and I thought we, you know, tight game as it was always going to be. We were the better side first half, but I've got to say they were the better side second half.
Thanks, Chris.
Cheers, Stu.
Thanks all.
Cheers, guys.